everybody. Yay, it's Douglas Bloch here. It's July 14th. It is now 2019. Another beautiful sunny day in Portland. My God, high of 82, low of 60. I was speaking to a good buddy from Florida who was just telling me how hot and humid and miserable it was. I said, why don't you come out to Oregon? He said, I did with my daughter in 2007. It was amazing, green and beauty and perfect temperature. I said, why don't you move here? He said, that's not a bad idea. So, Beth D., Ed Timmerman, Chom Chom's Virtuous Woman, Anthony Olson, Andrea M., The Forever Freak, Marissa, right? That's your first name? Jason Cluo from the UK, the usual suspects. And today is a very special day for a number of reasons. Hey, by the way, Joan, could you hand me that piece of paper with all my new jokes on it? It should be right by the place where I normally sit. Otherwise, I'll figure it out. Anyway, so so special day, two reasons. One is Bastille Day. How come we don't have anybody from France calling in? We have people from England, we have people from Arabia, we have people from, Germany, but nothing from France. Everybody mentally healthy there? And also today is my 22nd anniversary of my emotional sobriety. It was 22 years ago today, July 14th, 1997, that I was healed at Living Enrichment Center through a powerful prayer circle, and I described that event, in my book, When Going Through Hell Don't Stop. The first person who makes any sort of a live chat, super chat donation will get a free copy of this ebook. Thank you, Joan. You should come in here sometime and introduce yourself. Anyway, yes, first person who makes a donation gets a free copy of my book. It was a miracle. I was actually down, depressed, had given up hope I'd ever get better, and 12 people came together in a circle, sat and sent me positive energy for the next 30 days, and I got better. Unbelievable. Jason Cluo, 102 degrees here. Wow, new jokes. No, they're old jokes. You got a new one, Jason? Go for it. Yes, it is a special joke. Hi, Oliver McLeod, another UK person. Kerry Irving, another UK person. Philip Morrison. Wow, the English people. Hey, were you guys at Wimbledon? What an amazing match that was between Roger Federer. Can you believe it? 37. He's still that good. Lost in a long fifth set. 4 hours. How can these people stay in the sun for 4 hours without stopping? Unbelievably fit. You think soccer players are fit? By the way, England, sorry, we beat you in the semifinals. The women beat you in the semifinals. Sorry, guys. But anyway, gals, yeah. Did anybody go see Wimbledon? I was actually there in 1982, saw it live. Well, Gary Simone, wow, my testosterone blood test came back very, very low. Doctor thinks this may be the cause of my depression. What are your thoughts? Well, Noah Thomas, who used to be in my support group, started a whole channel called Big No No, all about testosterone replacement therapy, TRT. He is the expert. Go check out his channel and look at his videos. Obviously, when he took testosterone, he felt a lot better. He also got a lot stronger, but that's because he worked out. So yeah, low testosterone definitely can be associated with depression. Greetings from Minnesota. Finally an American on here. I can't believe it. Happy anniversary. Thank you, Anthony. Brought my mate an elephant for his room. He said, thanks. I said, don't mention it. Well, I didn't get that. Hey, Doug, thank you for your videos. You have no idea how much you've helped me. I just wanted to let you know. Well, thank you, Kelly Johnson. I appreciate it. It's always good to know where, there was a very famous album by Frank Zappa and the Mother's Invention called We're Only Doing It for the Money. And of course, that was a complete, parody because he was a beautiful, classically trained musician who created for love. And that's what we're doing here. We are basically having this video chat for love, to create a field of love that can heal you guys like it healed me. 22 years ago, I was given up for dead, and a community just like the one we're experiencing right now came to the rescue. Do not ever underestimate the concern and love of other people. That's how God expresses him or herself, through other people. And so anybody who has someone in their life that cares about them, let's say a big thank you right now. Let's express some gratitude for those who care about us. And if we don't have anybody, well, speak up and we'll care about you right here on the station. As a matter of fact, you can express gratitude even when you're severely depressed, because gratitude is an expression, not a feeling. You can express gratitude through the pain. I've done this before. Someone raised their hand, tell me something they're grateful for. Thank you from the Gaza Strip, the hero of the Palestinians. Of course, I love it. I love it. I love it. One day I'll have to visit the Gaza Strip. Kelly Johnson. Oh yeah, thank you very much for your kind words. Anthony, uh, if you get into jokes, although it is rather tired in math circles, I still get a smile every time I see the square root of -1, 2 to the third power, something with pi. It was very delicious. Yes. Yes, you have to understand. How about this, Anthony Elson? I was a math teacher. You don't even know this. For 40 years, I tutored kids. What was my favorite dessert? Well, of course, it was pie. Speaking of which, they're having a sale on apple pie and blueberry pie. New season's half price off. Run down, everybody. Come to Portland, Oregon, and get the best pies in the world from New Seasons right down the street from me. Okay, don't worry if you work so hard and your rewards are few. Remember that the mighty oak was once a nut like you. Boy Amsterdam. God, nobody remembers him from the Dick Van Dyke show. Where did you get that? I'm gonna basically cut and paste that. That is too good. So happy Bully Serena's lost respect for her after the Naomi Okasa drama. Well, you know, she just lost it. The woman's not perfect, for heaven's sake. She's been fighting for equal rights for women's pay. By the way, who did she lose to? Hey, Rich Smith. Anyway, I like Maury Instagram. And who did Serena lose to? Again, you know, to err is human, to forgive divine. Let me go ahead and cut and paste this. Okay, so we're back. So this is based on a joke that someone said last week. Why did the archaeologist quit his job? And I don't think it's a really good idea to quit your job if you don't have another one, but he quit right out. Why? Because his career was in ruins. That was stolen from someone from last week. The actual joke was from last week was an archaeologist, a person whose career lies in ruins. Maybe even better than the joke I told. All right, let's have one more joke in here. Remember, anybody who contributes will get a free copy of my book, When Going Through Hell Don't Stop, A Survivor's Guide to Overcoming Clinical Anxiety and Clinical Depression. And boy, 14 million Americans suffer from depression. I don't know how many people in the UK, but it is by 2020, which is next year actually, depression will become the #1 disabling condition in the world, even more than heart disease. Isn't that sad? You know, if you have a heart attack, boom, you get into the emergency room and they save you. If you have a suicidal episode, boom, they lock you up for 3 days and let you out, and you're just as messed up as you were before. We need better mental health treatment all around the world. When will it come? Long after I'm gone, I'm afraid, but still, it's better than what we used to have when they locked people up and threw away the key. Another bad joke. There's a fine line between the numerator and the denominator. Only a fraction of people will get this joke. Anthony Olson, another math joke. I love it. I'm so grateful. 2 friends have called me this morning. I got a car yesterday. I'm going to visit friends later. Haven't had a decent car in over 2 years. Well, Lazy Eye Ranch, let us be thankful for the car that Lazy Eye Ranch has now gotten. And by the way, why do you call yourself Lazy Eye Ranch? By the way, you're not lazy. Pink Dostoevsky, I love that name. I'm grateful for my amazing family and people like you who take the time to help others. Well, God bless you. And I love Dostoevsky, another depressive writer. I also love Tolstoy. I'm grateful for my mom. Yeah, Kelly Evering. Isn't that lovely? It's so cute in the UK they call their mother their mum. Amazing. I lived in England, as you know. Mitch Colley, haven't seen you before. I'm having mild heart palpitations, stinking feelings, experiencing anxiety. Is this normal? It's normal when you have anxiety, but anxiety like that is not normal. Do you have any techniques you can use, like deep breathing? Is this a chronic problem? If it is, you should see a counselor or mental health therapist. Come on, England, world champions. World champions in what, Rich Smith? Flying Ryan Goes Hawaiian. You loved Frank Zappa. Well, I have the original album, Burt and Weenie Sandwich, or whatever it was. Oh my God. People don't know what a great musician he was. He died of prostate cancer, unfortunately. There's an elephant in the room. Hey, I don't get that, Jason Grillo. Hi, what advice do you have for procrastination with depression, lacking of energy? That's a really tough. A lot of people procrastinate even when they're not depressed. I think what you need to do is have accountability. You need to call somebody and say, by 12 o'clock noon, I'm going to get out of bed and make coffee, and have them call you back at 12 to make sure you're doing it. So telling somebody of your plans and having them call you back to see if you've done it The other thing is try to break down whatever task it is into small, manageable parts. So maybe you want to go to the gym. The first, step is to sit up in your bed. Next step is to take a drink of water, and just have little tiny steps that don't seem overwhelming. But when you're depressed, everything seems overwhelming. A woman once said, filling the sugar bowl felt like climbing Mount Everest. 51 people watching. Good start to the Sunday. Again, it is my 22nd anniversary. I was healed, I was saved, I was renewed, I was restored, and 22 years ago today. And by the way, I'm writing a new book, and one of my chapters is You Can Be Restored. Restoration means not just coming out of the pit, but even coming out in a better state than you were. That's what it said in the book of Job, that God, Spirit, higher power, restored to Job not only everything he had, but twice as much. If you know that story about that horrible suffering he went through, absolutely. And speaking of restoration, my good friend Julie Hayes from Michigan, who's helping me write this book, this was her gift, £5 from somebody. It looks like Oliver McLeod maybe from that picture, I don't know. But anyway, From the Ashes I Rise. Take a picture of this. Put this on your wall. Always look at it when you feel like there's no hope. And let's see who gave that donation. I was right. How did I remember you? Oh my God. Don't let everybody tell that don't let anybody say when you get older, you're going to get senile. Oliver, you and I have corresponded. Have I sent you a copy of this book yet? If not, let me know and I'll send you it. It's really a compelling story. All right, thank you, Oliver. Let's give thanks to Oliver for contributing to this channel, so I can sit up here every Sunday from 12 to 1 Pacific time and chat with you guys and create the community that healed me 22 years ago. And 22, by the way, is a master number if you study numerology. I'm born on February 22nd. It's number of somebody who basically wants to do big things in the world and often has a lot of nervous energy and mental breakdowns as a result. But I love being a 22. Is anybody here born on the 22nd? Raise your hand, will you? And I want to hear one more word of thanksgiving. Time for another joke. Cheryl Daniel, hi everyone. I'm depressed, but I'm here listening, and I hate it when I don't want to do anything. I have good intentions, but I fell right back to earth. Well, remember, Cheryl, what I said before? Make the thing doable. Set a goal for yourself. Like, do you have a gym nearby? How about getting outside and walking around the block? Make the things small and doable enough that you can accomplish them. And then give yourself a big reward. Talk yourself up. Remember, filling the sugar bowl feels like climbing Mount Everest. Things can be really hard when you're really depressed. So cut yourself some slack, forgive yourself, and remember, this too shall pass. Yes, you have. You've not read it. Look at this. Oliver McLeod has a book that has gems of wisdom, the key to survival of depression, the key to life, the key to resurrection, and he hasn't read it. Don't worry. I haven't read half the things people have given me. I'm too busy. But if you ever do read it, you really like it. Jason Cluo, hey Cheryl, has anything happened? Kelly Burns, a wonderful donator here on live chat. What a generous person you are. I love your picture, Ty. You look really good. I'm grateful that I wasn't around in the 30s and 40s when Dr. Freeman announced lobotomy as a primary solution for mental health issues. Kelly Burns, you have studied your mental health history well. And he was actually like a rock star. Everybody knows who John Kennedy is, right? President of the United States got assassinated. His sister Rose Kennedy got a lobotomy. Big secret. Absolutely horrible thing. And to think that they actually believed this was good for people, oh my God. There's a very famous writer in America named Sherlin Newland. He has an amazing TED Talk called How ECT Changed Me. And he talks about in the 50s, he fell into a horrible depression and the doctors were going to give him a lobotomy. He was one of the smartest people around. He wouldn't have been able to carry on his research, teach at Yale. And this one resident stepped in and said, hey, before you do something that drastic, why don't you try electroconvulsive therapy, ECT? And God damn it, they did, and he survived. He owes his life to that resident. He should give that guy like $1 million. All right. Thank you, Kelly Burns, for that history lesson. Thank you for the advice on having a friend call you by a certain time. It's 2 o'clock here in DC, and just now I got out of the house. Excellent. Well, if you're out of the house, how are you listening to this wonderful live chat? Maybe you're doing it on your iPhone. And count as a person who walks into a restaurant and orders a waiter. I didn't know Maury Amsterdam was so funny. Oh, Maury Amsterdam, is, if anybody doesn't know, was an American comedian. And I think, Lazy Eye Ranch, didn't your father used to tell bad jokes? Isn't that how come you know all this stuff? All right. 17 after the hour, 53 people watching. Important reading, prebiotics and probiotics. I did a video on it. Danny Olson, how to make friends. Yes, meetup.com. Danny, I don't know where you live. So, can anybody give Danny some information on how to make friends? There's something called meetup.com. You can go in there and type in your zip code, and there are all sorts of groups that you can join with people with similar interests as you. And you can also, if you go to a church or a synagogue or any place of worship, there are all these friendship groups afterwards. You can do that. You can take a class, something that interests you. A lot of people meet people through a class. A friend of mine, actually a client of mine, was very lonely. He joined a running group and he met his wife there. So join a group, go to meetup.com, go to a spiritual community. How does that sound to start? And hopefully you don't have social anxiety. If you do, well, go to small groups. Hey, Marin W., my favorite Japanese person in Ireland last time I checked. OG, my God, you haven't been here for ages. Conversations come naturally, right? It doesn't for me. No, it shouldn't come naturally. A lot of people have a hard time chit-chatting or making conversation, especially introverts. OG, I bet you are on. God, you were on here for a while. Remember, you were a contributor Patreon a long time ago. Oh my God, Oliver McLeod, your joke is just too bad. How to deal with constant suicidal thoughts? I've been struggling with those for almost 2 years. Wilson Diego, I want you to write me because I am writing a book on how to cope with suicidal thoughts and feelings, and I would like to give you some of my tips and tools and have a conversation with you. I have answers to that question. DouglasBloch at gmail.com. Wilson Diego, will you please write me? Anyway, the first thing I'm thinking of is you got to just find a way to switch your focus. Like pretend you're going down a road and you see, there's a crash in front of you. Uh-oh, you better make a right turn. You better turn this way. Pretend you're going to an intersection and make a sudden right. Shift your focus away from those thoughts and immediately say something like cancel, this too shall pass, or cancel, and think of something in the past that made you happy. Or go out and run around the block until you're out of breath. The idea is to interrupt the pattern and shift the focus. And the other thing is, if you're having suicidal thoughts, you might be suffering, or probably are suffering depression. How are you getting that treated? So Wilson, I want you to write me. And anybody else have any advice for him? Being plagued by obsessive compulsive thoughts or intrusive thoughts of any kind is very distressing, especially when they're thoughts of self-harm. So, but I do want you to write me because this is a big subject I am interested in. And by the way, if any of the 56 people listening to this live chat have ever dealt with suicidal thoughts and are wanting to share their story with me about how they overcame them, how they cope with them, how they survived, please, please, please email me. I want to include your story in my book. I want to give people hope that when they see no way out, when they see no light at the end of the tunnel, there is. This episode, this healing I had 22 years ago today is proof. It's proof that no matter how down you are, no matter how hopeless it seems, the next day can bring healing. 3 days later on my wedding anniversary, July 17th, I woke up and for the first time in a year, the black cloud of depression was gone. I was not anxious, I was not pacing. It was like some serenity had overcome me. That was not by accident. There were no drugs involved, there were no pills, there was no ECT, there was nothing. Just the power of prayer and the power of consciousness. All right, somebody had a comment here about the book of Job. I wish you wouldn't use Job and the Bible as an example. All I see is slavery, genocide, murder, gang rape. Yeah, okay, so Anthony, I understand there's a tremendous amount of abuse that has happened in the name of Christianity. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm not even a Christian. I was raised Jewish, But oh, the story of John Nash, yeah, that's resurrection. But you know, they say, "Nay, take what you want and leave the rest." Okay, so yes, yes, yes. But guess what? Genocide, murder, rape, gang rape, etc. You know what that is? That's just not a Christian thing, Anthony Nelson. That's the human condition. That's Muslims and even Jews and and all oh my God. I mean, man's inhumanity to man has been the story of this race. But if you read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, it's also about man's love of man. We are a dual creature. You know what Elizabeth Kubler-Ross said, the great writer? Everybody has a Hitler and a Saint Teresa within them. We are a devil and angel at the same time. So absolutely, I agree with you. There's a lot of negative stuff coming out of the Bible, but there's some wisdom. And it's a universal principle, my friend. How do I know? I know because of this. I'm telling you, I'm not BSing you. I've been through it. I have lived through it. From the ashes I rise. I have seen this happen with my friend Noah, with my friend Jill. People have come to my group. So many people, so many memoirs I've read. From the ashes I rise. Restoration is not only possible, it's part of the way life is set up. Meetup.com is often. Marie Hayes, nice to see you. All right, great advice. Thank you, Danny Olson. Hey, if you give me your email address, I will send you a copy of my book. No problem. Oliver Cloud, I use Meetup and really recommend it, David, like hiking groups if you don't want to join all the partying groups. Thank you, Oliver. Good advice. Join some online chat, Danny. First, Jason, can you put a link to an online chat group here? 21 minutes after the hour, 1/3 of the way done, and we are having a great conversation. 22 years anniversary of my healing, Bastille Day, the liberation of France, the liberation of Douglas Bloch. How can you beat it? I actually spent some time in Paris. Loved it. I went to the Chartres Cathedral. Anybody ever been to Chartres? Come on, you guys from the UK. I'm sure you've been there. One of the greatest cathedrals in the world, built in the Middle Ages. Over 400 years it took. Oh my God. Can you imagine a building taking 400 years now? They get the darn things up in like 10 days. All these little apartment buildings going up in Portland. It's getting too crowded here. Which reminds me, Yogi Berra, the great baseball player said, "The restaurant is so crowded nobody goes there anymore." Let me say that again. The restaurant is so crowded nobody goes there anymore. How's that for a Zen koan? This is what Yogi also said. Let me see. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. That is so clever. I'm going to write that down. So you guys, if you have any problems making decisions, when you come to a fork in the road, here's what I think I'm thankful for. I'm thankful I'm not locked up in a mental institution forever, which is what I thought was going to happen to me 22 years ago. I thought that was my fate, and of course, if that's your fate, just get it over with and, jump off the Fremont Bridge. I mean, those were the only two options I had. The little voice in my head said, badness or suicide, it's yours to decide. Over and over and over, this voice in my head, I couldn't get it to stop. I was tormented daily, tormented by my own thoughts. And then this healing came. So I will always be thankful for July 14th, 1997. It just so happens it's the 22nd anniversary. Thank you, everybody. I was born on the 22nd. Yippee, we need a party here. Anybody want to fax me some birthday cake? I'd appreciate it. Okay, let's answer some more questions. I have to have counseling for your loss. Okay, so Cheryl Daniels has obviously gone through a loss here. All right. PAG Flow, I'm subscribing to notifications, love your videos. Thoughts themselves can't do you harm, but they do cause distress. Very good. A lot has happened over the last couple of years, says Cheryl. Both parents passed away. Oh my God. A lot more life-changing things related to employment. Wow. No, you're going through grief. You're going through external stress, situational depression. Yes, get some counseling. Yes, no, that this too shall pass. Anybody would be depressed and bummed out if they went through what you went through. Oliver McLeod says, I recommend that you leave these distressing thoughts alone and they will pass often when you're overwhelmed. You really want to be able to cope or be seen to cope. It's okay to be really overwhelmed. Everybody needs support. Sazik the Manic, Wilson, I don't know if you can afford this, but you should really consider trying ketamine infusions. Wow. Yeah, some people ketamine really helps. Some people they don't. It's expensive. It's a crapshoot. But I'm glad you're one person who's there. They've helped. Thank you for that testimony. Steve Young still uses a visualization technique. It's been 14 months since I've had a scary, overwhelming anxiety attack. Works for me. Now, can you explain to me what the suicide attempt is? I mean, what the visualization is. Sorry about that. Uh, I can't find my sheet with my email address on it. Well, it's got to be around here somewhere. DouglasBloch@gmail.com. Yeah, let me know. I want to know what your visualization focus is, Steve. It would really be helpful. All right. Wilson Diego, sorry for the negative message. What negative message? You didn't have a negative message. You're being honest with where you are. It is not negative. You are being authentic, Wilson Diego. You are telling us the nature of your suffering. You have nothing to apologize for. Again, write me and I will give you some support. David Holden! Yay! David from the UK, from this somewhere outside of London and right, northern England. Oh, wow. Great to hear from you. I've decided to get my full motorcycle license UK, but I've been held back by anxiety. Advice? Well, I would try to find some techniques and tools to manage your anxiety and bring it down. Or maybe take the motorcycle and just drive it around the block and get used to it in very small steps. You know my email address, David. You've written me. We've had an exchange. If you email me, I will send you a full 84 page slideshow I did on anxiety treatments, everything you ever wanted to know about treating anxiety. So I'll get that to you if you just email me. Hey, Joni Bloch. My wife is right. I do need a fan on, but at least let's open the door and get some fresh air in, except it's getting stuck on the cord. Well, better some than none. Hi, Steve, says Jason Clulow. Lazy Eye Ranch, the anniversary of my hospitalization for suicide watch. It's approaching August 12th last year. I was locked up. Wow. Well, I'm glad you didn't exit, Lazy Eye Ranch. You live in Brazil, but we'll look into this. Wow. Portuguese, eh? Steve Young. Hi, Jason. Jason Clulow. Not seen you here for a couple weeks, Steve. Thank you. Yes. To being not suicidal, I have treatment-resistant depression, so I'm not feeling great. Don't know what great feels like, but the infusions took away the suicidal thoughts and dread. Well, good for you. I'm really glad that somebody had some benefit from ketamine. No one has laughed at my Yogi Berra jokes. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. You have no sense of humor. Pink Dostoevsky, it's not negative, Wilson. You are being honest. Thank you, Pink Dostoevsky. I love Fyodor. Notes from the Underground, the Brothers Karamazov, Crime and Punishment. $10 for David Holden, probably. I believe it is. Yep. Have a beer or two with me. Thank you. I don't drink, but I'll have some kombucha on you. How's that? Good work. How have you been doing, David, by the way? Has my book been helpful? I hope it has been. I sent David a signed copy of my book. He's been so darn generous. Oliver McLeod, a special call out to Oliver McLeod for sending me Fisherman's Friends aniseed lozenges. I've been getting them ever since. Okay. Tazik the Manic. Wilson, please do. It was the only thing that really helped me break free from these suicidal thoughts, nonstop despair. Carrie Irving. Sherlyn Resident, I'm so sorry for your losses. It's my dad's birthday today. He passed away 17 years ago. Wow. MD Nixon from Germany, coming back. I'm on Lexapro now and it's working. Finally, I found a good SSRI. In Germany, there are studies that it's the most effective antidepressant. Lexapro is a very good medication. I agree with you. I'm going to try having some this delicious Trader Joe's Mediterranean hummus. Is there a Trader Joe's in England? I don't know. Anyway, another donation would be greatly appreciated. We're exactly halfway through the live chat. $20 so far, going for 40 total. We're right on track. Pink Dostoevsky. My husband took his own life And with his life, he took away the life away from so many who loved him. Think twice. You are not alone. Can I quote you on that? You know, Pink Dostoevsky, I would really like you to write me because I'm doing this book and I want to get the testimony of people who have lost people to suicide. And because, like you said, think twice. You know, one of the reasons when I was desperate, I didn't harm myself because I thought, my God, I am suffering so much. I am in such agony. If I did myself in, look what it would impact would have on my wife, my godson, my goddaughter, my parents, my best friends. Why should I take my suffering and magnify it 100-fold by doing myself in? It would cause so much pain. And you know what? You never get over it when you're a wife or a husband or a son or a daughter or a parent of someone who's died by suicide. You never get over it. So you're absolutely right, Pink Dostoevsky. Think twice. And we are not alone. There is always help. I don't care how alone you feel. Again, write me, douglasbloch@gmail.com. I would love to have a conversation with you, Pink Dostoevsky. And thank you for being so honest, and thank you for your sharing. I feel like I will never get out of this depression, just have to cope with it. Well, in some respects, you're correct. I'm still coping with my depression every day. When I get out of bed, I don't spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things I have to do, like Charles Fillmore. I just say, oh my God, and I go back to sleep. However, that being said, coping with depression, you can have some good days, you can have some joy. It's not a death sentence by any stretch of the imagination. Jason says that David try a little bit of CBD oil. I agree. It helps a lot of people I know with anxiety. Hey, Joan, I'll take the fan on whenever you get a chance. Harry Morgan, I love the art and planets on the wall. Thank you very much. And Ramana Maharshi is right below that beautiful tapestry from Bolivia. You can put on low. My friend told me to share more videos of my adorable baby goats. All right, wonderful. Mobius Zero from Florida. Hello, my friend. I've got you a present, Douglas. She'd be there on the 19th of July. I think you might enjoy it. Thank you. Oliver McLeod has got me an anniversary present. Thank you, Oliver. Do I have your address? Have I ever sent you this self-care activities to improve your mood? It's a beautiful, beautiful two-sided diagram I've made about everything you can do to change your brain chemistry in a moment. Wilson Diego, I want to say again, if you're still with us, you were not negative, you were being honest. The first way to get help is to share your pain. If you keep it bottled up inside, it's not going to get any better. Catherine Goldie from the UK, who leaves all these wonderful comments on my videos. Thank you for being here. All right, Kayla Evering. Pink, I mean your husband, yes. DJ Rustia, hi Douglas from New Hampshire, England, yes. MD Nixon, for me the most horrible feeling is an upcoming panic attack. I did therapy and learned a lot about it, but it's still hard to handle. You have any tips? You just have to breathe. You have to tell yourself it's impermanent, it will pass. And again, walk, exercise. Try to really, well, sometimes people, when they exercise, their panic becomes worse. So maybe just doing some deep, like that. Or, go to your doctor. I mean, you probably have been on benzos before. Wow. Pink Dust, this you're a brave soul. Wow, I didn't realize you had so much loss in your family. And yes, the pain that it caused to those left behind, you were so right again. I want to talk about my experience. My therapist died that way. My roommate died that way. A good friend died that way. Yeah, the pain never goes away. My best friend's brother died that way. Mal Kafats, my anxiety is taking my life. I keep feeling I'm going to ill die. What should I do to stop it? Go get help. Go see a therapist. Go see a psychologist. Cognitive therapy and meditation. Just tell yourself you're not going to die. Go ahead and replace those negative thoughts with something much more positive, like God in me is my health. Or if you don't believe in God, my body is healthy, my body is strong. All those negative thoughts are definitely wrong. I like that. When you rhyme things, they stay in the brain much more quickly. Rosie Bangle. Hi all, Rosie here from North England. There are more Brits on this program than ever before. I have PTSD from my family passing away straight after my ex-husband partner gave me abuse for 2 years. I have great empathy for people suffering. Well, so do I, and so do all of us. Thank you. No, America is not rotten to the core, Moby Zero. There you are going again. You're making these generalizations, black and white thinking. You're definitely wrong. All right, Miro D'Agostino from Italy. I lost my job, but it sent me into depression again. Well, of course, any sort of a loss, losing your job, losing a loved one. But I have a video that I just published 2 weeks ago I want you to look at. It's called How to Deal How to Deal with Job Search Depression. It's a new video of mine. Steve Young, £5. Steve Young, a regular contributor, or €5, excuse me, no, £5. Thank you, Steve. Do you have my book? Do you have my, do you have this? Do you have my book? I'll send either or both to you. MD Nixon, I got Temesta as a panic meditation, but when it comes to panic attacks, I don't want to take them because I know they make me feel so great. It's very addictive. Well, you know, every now and then it's okay to take one. For me, it is. I took Klonopin when I was going through my anxiety, you know, for 9 months. But I knew myself well enough that if I took it, I could hold off for another 3 days and take it intermittently. I don't have the addict's brain. I don't have the addict's mind. But if you do, then it's probably best to stay away. You know, only you know yourself. Moby Zero is so right about that. Where I live, it's difficult to get any decent health care, much less mental health care. I have a rare neuro disease, trigeminal neuralgia, aka. Well, yeah, well, unfortunately, you're not on Medicare, but you know, there is Obamacare. Aren't you on Medi-Cal, I think, right? If you're on Medi-Cal, you can see people, Lazy Ranch. Of course, you're very, very isolated, which doesn't help matters. Okay, Steve Young, I'm going to email you the copy of When Going Through Hell Don't Stop today. And guess what? You're born on the 22nd. Remember I said, who else here is born on the 22nd of the month? I'm born on February 22nd. You know, it's been 22 years since my healing, so good for you, Steve. Congratulations. Either a late Cancer or early Leo. I'm not quite sure. Jason Klua, if you're panicking, breathe into a paper bag. I've heard about that, huh? Jason Klua, yeah, I did. They said nothing wrong, but the feeling not going away. Hi, Steve. My birthday is July 26th. A definite Leo. Andy Nixon, could you send me back the back of the depression chart? You sent me the front already. MD Nixon, the PDF I sent you has 2 pages, the back and the front. Go back to what I sent you. You'll see both sides, I promise you. And if you don't, email me and I'll send you the other one, but that's impossible. The PDF file, the file I have, has the back and the front on it. I will double check, but I'm absolutely sure of it. But I might be wrong. There's a great song by Rodney Crowell called Earthbound that is all about why life is worth living. He even lists many reasons at the end. Has a great mandolin too. Thank you, Lazy Eye Ranch. Always there with really cool music and cool quotes. You're a great resource. And how are your goats doing? T Block, what are your feelings on dialectical behavior therapy? The greatest thing since sliced bread. If you have done a video about this, I'll just check it out. I'm looking for something, anything that can help me reclaim my life. Yes, DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy. There's so much information. You can buy Marsha Lineham's book on Amazon.com. Just put her name in Amazon. It's only like $35. That might be a lot to some people, I know, but all the exercises for distress tolerance are there, but you should definitely take a class and work with someone who's trained. Yeah, just put that in your browser, Marsha Lineham DBT, and you will be taken to her books. So yes, I should do a video on it. Thank you. Brilliant idea, and DBT is great. I know a lot of people in my groups who have done it. Have you ever heard of your body cramping up during a panic attack, says Vesmon? No, but when you're anxious and tense, it's natural to contract, so why not? Jason Glow, I'm out of it. See another doctor and I describe your feelings. Okay. I go to Peeps, Stranger. The Thing, Season 3 is calling. I go to Peeps, Stranger. Thing, Season 3 is calling. Wow, that's an enigmatic post. I'm not quite sure what you meant. All the best for July 26th, says Steve Young. Thanks, Steve. Wonder what Liz Life Guru is. Yeah, she's not here today. Very good point. Maybe she's traveling. My birthday is in 4 days. Wow, all these July birthdays. That's incredible. So what is it? You're the 18th, Lazy Eye Ranch, and then someone here, Steve Young, is the 22nd. Catherine Goley's the 26th. My birthday is the 14th, at least in terms of survival. Let's throw a party. My friend who has the same called me in the AM. We're celebrating together this year. Haven't said my birthday in years. Oh, I love birthdays because on your birthday, in astrology, it's called the solar return chart. Every birthday is a rebirth of your life. Every year is like a whole lifetime. So every year you can start anew. This is why no matter what's been going on in the past, Tony Robbins, the great motivational speaker in America, says the past does not determine the future. You know what they say in Wall Street? Past returns are no guarantee of future results. That's the same thing with depression. Just because you've been messed up in the past, just because you've had 1, 2, 4 years, doesn't mean it's always going to be this way. And I'm going to write that down in my notes because that was a really good insight about Wall Street. Okay, I've just typed that in. A really good insight. Thank you. I know, whoever made me think about that, thank you. What helps with the shaking of anxiety? Physical movement, brisk walk, running, deep breathing, putting your face in a sink of cold water and holding your breath. It's called the dive response. You know, I should just make my anxiety a seminar available to everybody here. I don't know where I can post it. Maybe I'll figure out a way and give you the link. Oh, you know, I can give you the link. I can actually post it right here, and it'll be a link to my slideshow. Oh, what a great idea. Oh my goodness. I can even do that right now. It would take some time. So maybe I'll do it next week. Anxiety makes my thought close. Yes. Steve Young, I treat my mind as a prison. I think of afflictions as the inmates with me, as the warden. So each time one of my afflictions rises up to cause me trouble, I think as the warden, get back in your cell. That's a really stark way to think about it, but hey, it works for you. MD Nixon, I saw your video about cycling can improve your mood. Great video, and you look very fit there. I was 35 pounds lighter. I'm sorry. I went to the hospital. They gave me all these medications. I've gained the weight back. Yes, I was incredibly fit when that was essentially 2014 when that was made, 5 years ago. When I have an attack, my whole body cramps up, chest, legs, and stomach. Wow, you know what? I'm not diagnosing, I'm not treating, but I take magnesium when I cramp up from a heavy day of cycling. Maybe that would help for you, but otherwise, you need to be under somebody's supervision to get some treatment for that, obviously. I never heard of those symptoms, but I'm sorry you're having to go through that. Music and humor keep me afloat. I've been watching Danny Kaye videos. Oh my God. He's an amazing, brilliant, talented man. I can't tell you how much I agree with you. How to deal with family who don't understand depression and anxiety? Well, super love videos. Unfortunately, sometimes your family is not always the best support. My mother never understood why I was depressed until she got depressed. My father, if they haven't been through it, they don't know about it. So you may not be able to convince your family or let them understand what you're going through, but there are other people you can, like the people on this live chat. Marie Diacostine, happy birthday. No meds, thanks. It's me, Beth. Tried diaphragmatic breathing, perhaps. Yep. It's not effective. Vasman, maybe you need some sort of therapy. I agree. Rosie and Bangle, sometimes they visualize. I use neon notice, sort of my nasty methodologies to obscure them, which reads, if you notice this notice, you will notice this notice is covering something not worth noticing. That's a tongue twister. It is exactly 45 minutes after the hour, 3/4 done. I could definitely use another one or two donations here. That would be really helpful. As I told you guys last week, I'm having a problem with the Board of Psychology that is trying to stop me from running my support groups, and it is no fun. I never really have been subjected to an authority over me trying to cause havoc in my life. I guess I've been very lucky, but boy, I feel really sorry for people who are in countries where the government is totalitarian or authoritarian. It is no fun to be dealing with that type of energy. America is not perfect, but we do have some recourse here, or at least most of us do. Obviously, the justice system does not treat everybody equally. Vesman, I'm looking into everything now. It's new to me. Never had this before. Very scary. You can come through it. You can come through it. Sazdik the Manic. It's me, Beth. Oh, yeah, here we are. Okay, Vesman, I'm looking into everything now. Okay, we got that. Molly Facts, whatever, Jason Glow. Went to 3 doctors and they said it's all in my head. I don't feel sick, fear that I'm going to go ill. Well, it probably is anxiety, but what can you do about it? You know, work with your mind, work with medications. There are ways to cope. Yes, Jason, Vesman, you can get help and recover. I completely agree with you. Yeah, I've never heard of anybody cramping up like you do, Vesman, but it definitely, it's probably anxiety. I mean, if that's what the doctors tell you, you know, again, when you're anxious, when you're upset, the body contracts. When you're feeling good, the body expands. You know, when people win the gold medal, they go, yeah, like this. They don't go, "Ugh," you know, they go, yeah, like this. So, yes, the body can contract when you're feeling really poorly. Boy, isn't mental suffering difficult? You know, my book, When Going Through Hell, Don't Stop. And by the way, this is what Mary Manning Morrissey, my mentor many years ago, said. It says in the 23rd Psalm, though I go through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. The key word is through. You're going through the battery. You're going through the valley. You're not pinching your tent there. You're not buying a condominium there. You're not planting a garden there. You are moving through the valley. The valley is not your home. A lot of people get stuck in the valley. They say, this is it. It will never end. They're wrong. Everything comes to an end at some point. Look at the Golden State Warriors. They were a dynasty. Now they're not. You know, look at the New York Yankees, a dynasty in the 50s. Now they're not. Everything ends. Everything passes. You know, that's what St. Teresa of Avila said. And so when you're going through the valley of the shadow of death, when you're going through depression, suicidal episode, tell yourself, I'm passing through. This is not my home. I am not ending up here. Keep putting one forward foot in front of the other. And to quote Douglas George Bloch, the fifth, when going through hell, don't stop. And if you don't stop, if you keep on trekking, if you reach out to other people, say a little prayer if you believe in that, you will come out the other side and you will be restored. And in some cases, you'll be better off than when you started. Hard to believe, I know. How's that for some encouragement? All right, super love videos. It's difficult to explain depression to those who are not so fortunate not to know. We only take a talk less and listen more. Pink Dust, yes, yeah, I love what you have to say. Are you in America or are you in the UK? I'm just curious. Okay, went to the hospital as it happened. Everything came up back fine. The heart's fine, everything else. I look into help and meds. Good work, Bezman. All right, yeah. Me too, Pink Dostoevsky. I couldn't completely agree with you. Headshot, you're new. Why would pain move around my body? Always in pain. Well, I know. First, get it checked out with a neurologist. You might have some, moving nerve pain. Or, again, it could be the anxiety. You know, so many people who have depression and anxiety have what are called psychosomatic symptoms. The mind is very powerful. The mind and the nervous system and the body are all intertwined. There's something called psychoneuroimmunology. The psychology, the neurons, and the immune system all connected. So, you can think yourself into a really bad way if you really try. And a lot of people who are very anxious and very depressed have all sorts of symptoms that are not explained otherwise. So get mental health treatment. There's a lot out there. There's good therapists, psychiatrists, social workers, marriage and family counselors. There's good medications. There's also CBD oil for anxiety. What did that one person say, that she was helped by ketamine? Yeah. Most people aren't, but some people are. And of course, the method of last resort is ECT. And as one person said, thank God we don't have lobotomies anymore. All right. Yeah, someone gave me a good history lesson. Chest pain, body twitches, shakes. Yeah, that I don't know. Go to a psychiatrist and see what they think. How do you help a friend who feels she'll never get better and who feels that no one can help her? Ellen Jones, I'm going to ask you to tell your friend to watch this video of mine, okay? It's called 4 Words Can Save Your Life. It's all about impermanence. So, can anybody tell me how I should celebrate my sobriety day today, my emotional sobriety? 22 years ago, July 14th, 1997, in a church living in Richmond Center with Manny Morrissey, Michael Moran, 2 amazing souls. I was healed from an intractable treatment-resistant depression. I feel so grateful I'm here. I'm being able to do this ministry. I never would have believed it. I never would have believed I would have lived through this. So this is what I'm tell you. You never know what the next day will bring. You never know what your life, spirit, God, your higher power has in store for you. If you sincerely want to be of service and help others, Spirit will find a way for you to do so, even if it's in very small ways. You are valuable. You need to be here. Don't ever think you're a burden to others. Don't ever think your life isn't worth living. There is something out there for you. I promise it. So, any ideas on how to celebrate? Should I get drunk maybe? No. Stupid. I don't even drink. Yeah, I guess some people feel that's the way to celebrate. How about treating myself to a chocolate truffle? Malic fats, try a specialist, I agree. Anthony Nelson, rather than family or friends or others, work on yourself. Go they the valley of death. I think you mean go through the valley of death. Ellen, I also want you to look at a video of mine called How to Help Someone When Someone You Love is Depressed. I want you to watch that video also, okay? Anxiety is fear. Fear is the basis of so much of anxiety and depression. Go into your fear if you can. See where the root is. Pink Dust Pepsi, you're a very wise woman. You're in Canada, Mr. Bloch. Don't call me Mr. Bloch. By the way, how do you get a Canadian to apologize? Step on his foot. Have you heard that one? And where in Canada are you? I've been to Canada many times. Montreal. I've been to British Columbia. I've been to Calgary, Alberta. I love Canada. Of course, they beat the Golden State Warriors, but oh well. All right, Jason Cole, the gut is your second brain. Thank you, Jason. That's why I eat Milky Ways, McDonald's, Cokes all day. No, I don't. I eat kimchi and kombucha and take probiotics and eat prebiotics, which are fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, and seeds. Look at my video. Jason, have you seen it? It's called If You Want a Happy Brain, then what you need to do is create a healthy gut. I did a whole video on gut health. It is so important. So everybody watching this should see that. And of course, I think I just erased what I did. Nope, it's there. If you want a happy brain, create a healthy gut. Check that out. A communal barbecue with some musicians and dancing. Wow. Here in Ontario, hey, I went to the University of Rochester, right across the lake. Doug, you are doing so much good. The powers seem to be against all that can be done good, tends to be support others wrong. Well, I wouldn't engage in black and white thinking. Sometimes psychology boards, discipline people who are doing bad things, but I am not one of them, just the opposite. Hey, Doug, do you think Japanese people are really unaccepting of others? Of course not. That's black and white thinking. What would make you think that any more than anybody else? I know a lot of Japanese people. They're delightful. A lot of Japanese Americans. Super love videos. Mindfulness works the sense of detachment it cultivates, gives you some distance from your constant vicious negative cycles of thought, but it has to be combined with CBD, else it can make you passive. Thank you. Mal Fitz, I'm trying to find a CBD therapist. Nice. Cameron, did you hear about the guy whose left side was cut off? He's all right now. Oh my God. And Mobius Zero, in regards to the healthy butt, my dad has been giving me a lot of flack for my gut, and he's not slim and trim himself. Well, I don't mean that gut, I mean your stomach and what you put inside of it. Lagai, hey. Oh God, what is your name? Nicole, maybe? Thank you all for writing me, by the way. And Japan, of course, is civilized. Of course, they also do hara-kiri and don't have as much, respect for life. By the way, if any of you are interested, there's an amazing article from 2013 in the New Yorker called Last Call. You should look it up. It's about a Japanese monk who has dedicated his life to suicide prevention. I want you to read this article, okay? Totally inspiring. Anybody read the New Yorker here? It's called Last Call. It's in the New Yorker. So I'll tell you one thing I'm grateful for, despite the fact that I'm getting all this flack from the board. I am now, for the first time since 2001, actually since 1998, when I came out of my episode and got that healing, the first thing I did is I sat down and started writing my memoir, When Going Through Hell Don't Stop. I wrote it, I self-published it, I traveled around the country, I promoted it, and I sold it to a publisher. Now, for the first time since then, thank you, Christian Davidson. You're a mensch. I appreciate your $5 contribution. Anything you want to hear from me, you're now at the top of the class. Helen Jones, $1.99. Each of you, if you email me, will get this chart. And by the way, the person who said they didn't have the second side of this, let me know. Go look at the PDF again. If you don't find it, I'll resend it to you. Anyway, what was I saying? Well, Steve Young, I only have the book I was referring to as an ebook, electronic book. For me to send you a copy of the book, it costs about $35. I sent one to David Holden. So, I mean, I don't mind sending you a copy of a book. I mean, I wouldn't mind giving it to you, but $35 plus the $15 I had to pay for it, that's $50. That's a lot to put out there. The ebook of When Going Through Hell Don't Stop is free. And if you want a copy of Healing from Depression, we should figure out a way to maybe split the postage, or maybe you can pay the postage and I'll give you the free book. But sending stuff to England is very, very expensive from the United States. Didn't Winston Churchill say that? You are amazing, Pink Dostoevsky. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, I should visit Ontario sometime. No, what Winston Churchill said was, when going through hell, keep going. That was his quotation. And I was being interviewed on a radio in 1989, and there was a minister with me, and he said, I like what Winston Churchill said, when going through hell, keep going, but I have another way of saying it, when going through hell, don't stop. And I liked it, and I said, one day, I'm going to use that as the title of my book. Be careful what you wish for, because that was about my suicidal depressed episode. So you're absolutely right. When going through hell, keep going was Winston Churchill. So what do you like better, Pink? Do you like When Going Through Hell, Keep Going, or do you like When Going Through Hell, Don't Stop? I like the latter, but Winston Churchill, it's growing on me. I think they're both equivalent. Yes, I am Anthony Wilson for my current book. It's all about how to help people survive walking through the shadow of the valley of death. And I'm interviewing people here in Portland. I'm calling people all over the country. If you want to contribute, you'll get some thanks in the acknowledgments. By the way, Steve Young. Oh, if you want to send me a PayPal transaction for the international mailing, no problem. I've got your email address. Let me call up this place I used before when I sent it to David. It was the monkey something. David, could you remind me what service you used? It was great. It was much cheaper than FedEx, if David's still here. So there is a service I can use that will save you some money, and then I will, I'm sure $35 will probably cover it from what I remember, because you live in the UK too. And you can, my PayPal account is the same thing as my email address. That's my PayPal. Yeah, if anybody wants to send some money to douglasbloch@gmail.com, I will not turn it away. I think it was about $38, Steve Young. So, yeah, send me $38. I'll send you the book. Of course, I need your address too. Maklasa, Is it possible to have an invisible breakdown and become heavily depressed without the more conspicuous sign of someone, for example, whose delivery ran in the front of traffic or acted out? Yeah, a lot of people are depressed and people couldn't even tell, you know? These are internal symptoms: hopelessness, lack of interest, lack of sexuality, lack of hunger, bad sleep. You know, people come to my support groups, they can't tell that people, you know, if you were to visit a support group, you could tell that the people here were depressed, including me. These are internal things. So of course, all depression is invisible. Only when you act out and try to harm yourself is it visible, and that's never, never a solution. Amazon might be a cheaper option for the book. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, but you're right, Andrew M. You could get the book off of Amazon, but of course I probably wouldn't be signing it, would I? But I could have Amazon send it to you, but again, then I wouldn't be able to sign it. Steve Young, do you want a signed copy? If so, I'll need to send it to you. Otherwise, you can get it from Amazon. You're right. What's the cover by OHP or the Albertan equivalent? And what was covered by OHP, Pinkowski, or OHIP, whatever? I'm not quite sure what you're asking about. What treatment? The guy, where did you get this done? Oh yeah, I got 8 ketamine infusion treatments in Canada in a hospital. Oh, I see. Wow. Now I understand what you're saying. You're asking the guy if the Canadian health insurance paid for ketamine treatments. That's a good question. All right. Chom Choms, this is the first time we've heard from you. Oh my God, it's 1:01. We're over our time limit. 53 people watching. My goodness. I only have 70% left on my computer. Hey, let's finish up here. Maybe get one more contribution. Billy Reed, ketamine did not work for me and it's very expensive. And you have to keep doing treatments if it does work. There's ketamine nasal spray called S-ketamine. Hey Billy, did you stop your ECT treatments? I don't think they were working, and if not, I really feel bad. You got to hang in there. Something is going to help you. Tom says to Mobius Zero, don't take it personally. Yes, Maclas, I'm glad I responded. I forgot what I said because I respond to so many people. Your government pays for it, Lagai? The government of Canada pays for ketamine as an experimental treatment? You couldn't get the United States insurance companies to do that forever. They cover ketamine as an anesthetic, but not as a mental health treatment. How did that happen? You were building a school. I'm really sorry about that. I'm going to do a video on bullying. That would be a really good thing. Thank you for all of your great advice. No problem. Thanks, Douglas. Happy anniversary. Let me know if you get the present. Sure, Pink Destiny, little guy. Is it still helping? Was it short term? I stopped. Thanks for asking. Of course. Let me know anything I can do can help you. Kelly Bean, I missed you all again. Hey, where are you from? 12 o'clock noon every Sunday. I want to start selling an eBay again, but anxiety. The scammers have become ridiculous. Really? eBay usually sides with the buyers, but even when they're thieves and you can't prove it, but you need the income. Well, okay, what else do we have to say? One needs boosters eventually, yes. But you know what? I got ECT in 2016. They said I needed maintenance ECT. They stopped offering in Portland. My brother said, you're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. Well, guess what? By the grace of God, I was able to stay healthy through therapy, medication, social contact, exercise, all the things I talk about in this chart of mine. So all I can tell you is that having been in hell for so many years of my life, I'm very thankful that today I'm not in hell, at least not 24/7. I have moments of hell, but we can all endure moments of hell, moments of depression, moments of anxiety. But when it happens day after day, month after month, sometimes year after year, it starts to wear you down. But even then, there is hope. Never give up, never give up, never ever give up. Well, will I be on Wednesday, Doug? Normally I would be, but I have from 12 to 1, but I have a personal training session at 1. If I feel into it, I might come on at 11:30. So check at 11:30 and see what's going on. I look great for 85. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was super suicidal. Maybe that's why I was able to get it done, but I think here they get ketamine infusion. Well, are you feeling better, Lagai? Remember, it's all about maintenance after you feel better. One more time, my little list. Any donation, you will get a copy of this, two-sided. All right, well, enjoy the week. It's the middle of summer, beautiful here. My goddaughter is getting married next Saturday. And wish me luck. My book proposal for my suicide prevention book will be reviewed this week by a great editor in Eugene. I'm going to meet with her on Sunday, a week from today, the 21st, to go over it. Visualize me getting a really good publisher in America. I might go with Random House, and that would be awesome. I need to get the word out that hope is real, that healing is possible, and that resurrection can happen. And the best way to do that is to write a book and have it distributed around the planet. I already have about, 150,000 books in print, but I want to get more out there. And speaking of which, here is the book that Steve Young was talking about, Healing from Depression, 12 Weeks to a Better Mood. Those of you who live in America, you can get it for $15 on Amazon, and if you have Amazon Prime, it's free. And by the way, tomorrow and Monday, Tuesday, the 15th and 16th, Amazon Prime Day. All these different specials and ways you can have conspicuous consumption and buy things you don't really need. Go for it, guys. We need Amazon to get even richer, especially since I own stock in it. All right. Thank you, Mr. Bloch, for taking the time to bring us together. It's so important that we know we are not alone. Pink to STFC, I love you. You're absolutely correct. Hey, email me. I'll send you a copy of my coping strategies, huh? Yes, this is the whole point of this. This is the whole point of this live chat every Sunday and alternate Wednesdays, to bring us together, to know we're not alone. I'm not alone. You're not alone. Carrie's not alone. Chom Choms is not alone. Lazy Eye Ranch is not alone. We're in this together, and we can be healing together, just like you do in the 12-step groups. Remember, experience, hope, and strength is what we're looking for. Thanks a lot. Oh, you did, Pink. Okay. By the way, send me another email. I'd love to know your first name. I always like to know people's real first names. Anyway, thank you all, and we'll see you next week. Adios.